Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to The Hidden Truth, where we unearth the past to light the future. Today, we plunge into a chilling chapter of history, the punishment known as riding the wooden donkey. Picture a 15th century European square, torch smoke curling through frosty air. A crowd murmurs, staring at a woman bound to a wooden frame shaped like a donkey, its timbers groaning under her struggle. The Instruments of Torture by Michael Kerrigan exposes cruelty veiled as justice in this scene, a truth we must confront. Known as the Spanish donkey in Europe and lyoo in China, this punishment etched scars on humanity's story. Join me to uncover its origins, its impact, and the lessons it holds for today. Grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's reveal the truth together. In Europe, the Spanish donkey was a brutal torture device, first recorded during the 12th century Spanish Inquisition as a history of torture by George Riley Scott documents. A triangular wooden frame with a razor-sharp edge sat atop 4 legs, like a cruel throne. Victims, often women accused of witchcraft or heresy, but also men defying military orders, were forced to straddle this jagged ridge. Their body weight crushed their groin and pelvis, tearing flesh and sometimes shattering bones. Jesuit records from 1646. Canada note iron weights tied to victims' legs, amplifying the torment. One account describes a woman enduring until her organs failed, a stark testament to the era's inhumanity. In the American Civil War, dubbed Morgan's Mule, it disciplined deserters. Military logs recount soldier William Patton suffering hours on its edge in 1863, his injuries lifelong. These records reveal a grim reality. Punishment often served power, not fairness. In ancient China, riding the wooden donkey, or lyoo, was even more savage. Ming and Qing records, cited in Punishments of China by George Henry Mason, confirm its use against women accused of adultery or murdering their husbands. The device was a wooden donkey with a 30-centimeter sharp stake on its back. Victims were forced to sit, the stake piercing their bodies, inflicting catastrophic internal damage. Some versions, Ming texts describe, had eccentric wheels, causing the stake to shift as the cart rolled through jeering crowds. Bound tightly, sometimes with feet nailed, victims faced public scorn. In Water Margin, Pan Jinlian's fictional fate for infidelity mirrors countless real women's suffering. Exaggerated tales of stakes piercing mouths found in Di Gong An are unverified, but the pain and shame were undeniable. This punishment's focus on women exposes a profound injustice, rooted in a society that demanded female chastity while sparing men. It remains a haunting symbol of gendered brutality. Riding the wooden donkey was more than torture. It was a weapon to subjugate women in feudal China. Confucian ideals, as unruly women in Chinese popular prints by Huang Hua explains, cast women as guardians of family honor, punishing defiance with ruthless precision. A woman's body became a canvas for societal control, her dignity sacrificed to patriarchal order. Yet, resistance shone through. In the Western Han Dynasty, Chunyu Tiying's bold petition to abolish the 5 punishments reshaped China's penal code, a triumph of courage. In 1860, Taiping Heavenly Kingdom's Hong Xuanjiao, sister of leader Hong Xiuquan, rallied thousands of women against Qing oppression. Undeterred by the Mulu's threat, Qing records affirm. By the late Qing, women's reading clubs inspired. By poet revolutionary Qiu Jin, spread feminist ideas, building on Taiping defiance to challenge gendered oppression. These women, victims and visionaries, forged a path to equality, their legacy a beacon of hope. Their stories weave a dual narrative. the crushing weight of injustice, and the unyielding spirit that reshaped history. Picture a Ming woman, trembling as she faces the Mulu's piercing stake, or enduring Zǎnxíng's crushing sticks, her spirit tested by a system bent on control. Riding the wooden donkey was one of many punishments in ancient China designed to enforce obedience through pain and shame, especially against women. One horrific method, noted in Ming records, struck a woman's abdomen to dislodge her uterus, destroying her fertility and branding her unfit in a society revering motherhood. Zǎnxíng crushed fingers with sticks, leaving women like a 17th-century Nanjing seamstress unable to work, her life broken as a warning. Yin excavation, per Qing archives, used tools to destroy reproductive organs, ensuring no future lineage for the gravest offenses. The kang, a heavy wooden collar, locked victims in public humiliation. In 1710 Beijing, a woman wore the cangue for weeks in a bustling market, her shame a community lesson. Gōngxíng confined adulterous women in dark cells. In 1650, Suzhou, one endured 6 months in a windowless chamber, her isolation, a stark chastity lesson. By the Song dynasty, parading on donkey shamed offenders on real donkeys, likely inspiring the lethal Mulu by the Ming era, texts suggest. In 10th century Persia, an adulterer was paraded through Isfahan's bazaar, her shame mirroring China's practice. Colonial America's riding the rail echoed the Spanish donkey's design. These punishments formed a chilling system, using women's bodies to uphold Confucian hierarchy, a legacy urging us to champion compassion today. The origins of riding the wooden donkey remain veiled in mystery. Ming and Qing records confirm its use, but claims of Han or Song roots, possibly from Ming texts like Yongle Dadian, backdating practices for legitimacy, lack artifacts, or primary texts, as Chinese Justice by Li Chen notes. Tales of official Shishi Lun as its creator seem embellished, crafted to burnish his fame. The Spanish donkey's beginnings are equally elusive, predating the 12th century Inquisition but undocumented earlier. Novels like Di Gong An spun terms like xiaobian for mulu, blending fact and fiction, a reminder that history often dances with myth. With wooden devices long decayed, we rely on texts and imagination, a challenge the hidden truth embraces to separate truth from tale. Why did crowds revel in such brutality? Gustave Le Bon's The Psychology of Crowds reveals mobs surrender reason to collective frenzy. In 1860, North China Herald recounts crowds pelting Taiping prisoners on the Mulu, their shouts drowning out cries. In Europe, Witch Hunts in Europe describes onlookers torn between awe and fear. Yet, some shed silent tears, their compassion a spark of humanity. Did these spectacles succeed? Historian Edward Peters argues public torture bolstered state power, not deterrence. Qing accounts show Taiping rebels, far from subdued, fought fiercer after such cruelties in 1860, proving fear can fuel defiance. These displays, meant to control, often ignited rebellion instead. In 1905, reformer Xuanjiao's new criminal law banished the Mulu as inhumane, history reveals. In Europe, Cesare Beccaria's 1764 on crimes and punishments dismantled the Spanish donkey, championing humane justice. These milestones marked a shift toward compassion. Today, Amnesty International's End Solitary Now campaign fights U.S. prison isolation, echoing the Mulu's lesson. Justice must heal, not harm. The 1949 Geneva Convention reinforces this, ensuring such inhumanity remains history. Yet, debates over harsh sentences remind us to stay vigilant. At Amsterdam's Torture Museum, A Spanish donkey replica evokes past horrors, but also pride in humanity's progress. Justice, we learn, must uplift, not destroy. Dear viewers, thank you for joining this profound journey. The Mulus or Spanish donkey story is more than history. It's a call to cherish dignity and justice. From its brutalities, we've built a world valuing human rights, a legacy we must nurture. How can campaigns like End Solitary Now shape fairer justice? What human rights stories should The Hidden Truth explore next? Share your ideas below. Like, share, and subscribe to join our quest. At The Hidden Truth, we unearth the past to light the future. True justice lifts the human spirit, not breaks it. See you soon, and wishing you a warm, meaningful evening.